What up? This Rap Hits, and so I got some disturbing news for you about Takeoff. So, Takeoff of the Migos was unalived about 3 years ago. So that was November 1st, 2022. So we're coming up on November 1st, 2025 in a few months, right? That's 3 years. Well, the disturbing thing that I want to share with you is a lot of people have moved on. And it looks like so has the court systems as well, because it's been 3 years and both the suspects are out free. They've been out free since, I don't know, maybe they sat down for a couple months tops. They both got bailed out not too long after the incident, and they're still free to this day. For years now, they've been free. And with a lot of other unalivings that we see, they be keeping them locked up. They deny them bail, all types of stuff like that. Like with Dirk and everybody, it's like they still sitting in there waiting for trial. But this, it's been going on 3 years, and both of them been walking out, walking around free. So when they first picked up Joshua Cameron, I believe they called him Little Cam or something, I've reported on all this when it first happened. Now Cam's free. They only hit him with an unlawful carry of a weapon, and that's a felony, but that's all they hit him with that. So at first everyone was saying he was the guy. You know what I'm saying? Everyone was saying that Little Cam was behind it somehow because he had some crazy tweets about Takeoff, like he hated the dude. You know what I'm saying? He had tweets sneak dissing Takeoff and Quavo and the Migos. And everyone suspected he was the guy who did it. But it turns out they ended up getting this other dude called Pat. I forget his nickname. It was like Big Pat, whatever his name was. So Pat was the dude that they ended up taking in for the actual unaliving of Takeoff. And, there was a situation there with some of Takeoff and Quavo's people. And, they've been real silent. Their names have kind of faded from memory now, because there was one of the crew members that was with Takeoff and Quavo. It almost looked like it might have been his thumper that had hit Takeoff, maybe. You know what I'm saying? People are speculating. Was it the Migos' own people that might have accidentally unalived Takeoff? Maybe that's why the two suspects are free, because what the courts are saying is they have some serious forensic issues. So when I'm hearing forensic issues, and that's why Pat is walking around free right now, and there doesn't even seem to be any real updates about when is this trial going to be. Well, what it looks like to me is the forensic issues might be the ballistics. There might be issues with whose thumper actually unalived Takeoff, because there was speculation, like I said, that dude. Hey, if one of y'all remember that dude's name that was with them, that was with Takeoff and Quavo that night. A lot of people knew his name when it was popping, you know what I'm saying? And when all that had just happened, everyone was saying it looked like that dude might have ended up accidentally. It might have been friendly fire that hit Takeoff. Maybe that's the ballistics and forensic issues they have. Maybe it was friendly fire. Maybe they got the wrong guy. Y'all don't know. But whatever the case, Pat was the guy that they ended up taking in for the actual unaliving of Takeoff, and Pat is out free. So this is not good news for Takeoff, because it looks like nobody's gonna really go down for this the way it's looking. I mean, what, they're gonna end up just dropping the case eventually? Because this forensic issues, there's no real specifics. So I'm going to have to do some digging. If you like the video, I can get some more work done and maybe figure out what is these forensic issues they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because it just sounds to me suspect, you know what I'm saying, and suspicious that they're both walking around free right now. So this was not good news for Takeoff, and I'm surprised. It seems like everyone just kind of moved on from that whole case. Like, no one's even really talking about it no more. A lot of people just kind of forgot about it, if you ask me. I mean, I guess there's no real, this is like the biggest update I came across, was that they're both walking around free. Pat and Joshua Cameron and Pat, they both out free. And, you know, this is the update that I came across is that there's forensic issues. I don't believe there's no real court date set. And, you know, I think people should be wondering, like, what's going on with this? You know, this was a big deal. Like, this was takeoff of the Migos. And everybody just acting like it was just another unaliving in the trenches or something. You know what I'm saying? I understand when you in the trenches, it's like, you know, an unaliving can happen and the police never figure out who it is. You know, and I think that's another part of this case is what's going on is it was in an area that was basically a lot of people from the trenches, you know. It was that crowd. It was one of those crowds, you know what I'm saying? So when this happened that night, it was a crowd where they was gambling and shooting dice and, you know, everyone was just partying and it was one of those events, you know? So in those types of environments where you got the hood comes out for the night, and I'm not saying everyone in there was from the hood, but, you know, there's street affiliated people. If we're talking about Jay Prince and, you know, Jay Prince Jr. and all them in the Rap Lot crew and all them, whoever was there, that's one of them nights where, you know, the trenches is coming out and people affiliated with the streets, basically. Whether you made it out the trenches or not, that's the same type of crowd that was there. So with them type of crowds, a lot of people don't cooperate when it's time for the police to investigate the case. That's why a lot of unalivings go unsolved in the trenches, is because in the hood, the police have a job and they're gonna want to get some information. They're gonna want to, you know, do their job and figure out what happened. They need testimony. They need witnesses to come forward and speak, you know. And when you're dealing with these crowds, the crowd that was out that night, I'm betting that not too many people came forward to have anything to say to the police. You know what I'm saying? The police looking into the case, they probably just basically ignoring them and not talking. You know what I'm saying? And even though they might have been there, they might have known who to talk to and there was even some footage and everything, but I guess it's not enough to really piece it together. They need those witnesses and, you know what I'm saying? So with them saying forensic issues, I think that's their way of saying, hey, look, we're trying to solve this case without the cooperation of people that was there. That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? They're forced to try to solve this case and take it to trial, and they don't really want to take stuff to trial unless they know they're gonna win. So that's pretty much the standard when it comes to these trials, is that, you know, the DA wants to make sure they got to win. They want to feel like they got to win. Otherwise, they might not take it to trial, you know. So at this point, they might as well just offer them a plea deal or something. I mean, how long you going to investigate the case? It's like, how long is these people that might have been involved, Pat and Joshua, we don't know for sure, but they're the ones that got arrested. So how long should they be walking around free, you know, without any court dates and stuff like that? So I can't believe it's going on 3 years now and there's no trial. So yeah, that's how I'm looking at it, is there's no cooperation and they might have some ballistics issues, you know what I'm saying? Because the people said it might have been friendly fire that night. So maybe they were innocent. They got Joshua Cameron though on unlawful carry of a weapon. I would have thought they would have been able to move forward with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really not even saying that he did it. They're just saying that he's suspected of having an unlawful whipping that night that he shouldn't have had on him. And with Pat, I mean, they want to hit him with the M. You know what I'm saying? And I guess they're saying they don't got enough proof to say that he did it. Nobody's talking. Is what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna keep y'all updated if anything else comes of this. I mean, it's unfortunate that the Migos is finished, man. They was like one of the top groups in a long time. Like, I ain't really saw a group like that since, I don't know. I mean, I would say that was one of the top groups that anyone probably saw in a very long time, because they don't even do groups like that no more. Everybody's a solo rapper usually now. Especially when Migos came out, it was like already going in that direction in rap where it wasn't a whole lot of groups out. it was like Migos was once in I guess in an era. That was an era for them to have came out and their flow was unstoppable. Like what Migos was doing, that was top notch rap. You know what I'm saying? I really put them up as one of the best rap groups of all time, possibly. I remember people was comparing them to like Bone Thugs, maybe. Maybe that's one of the groups they say was in recent memory that they can think of that came out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know people want to say Outkast, and I don't know what other groups. I mean, because in the late '90s and early 2000s, groups was still a thing. Like, I mean, really in the late '90s, everything was a group then. It was like there was more almost groups than solo artists back in the late '90s, I would say. Until like the early 2000s, that's when everyone started kind of going solo. In the early 2000s, around the time Gucci Mane and stuff came out, you know, stuff like that. OJ, the Juice Man, Waka Flocka. That's around the time I think groups started to really, really fizzle out around that time. But before that, you know what I'm saying, there was an era where, you had like Onyx, Wu-Tang Clan. You had everything would seem to be a group around that time, like the late '90s. Everything, like there was a lot of groups, Fugees. It seemed like, there was Mobb Deep. You can go on and on with how many groups there was back then. You know what I'm saying? So that was a unique thing to see the Migos. To see that moment. I don't know if a lot of people understand what they was witnessing. They was witnessing legends, So shout out to the Migos. And as far as them being individual solo artists, I don't really know how people is receiving their talent as individuals, especially Quavo. I think he's probably the weakest link. I mean, to me, Quavo is, I don't know, he got a lot of work to do in my opinion before he's respected as a solo artist. You know what I'm saying? He's to me, he's kind of mid though. I would say he's kind of mid, to be honest. I see a little potential in Offset though. I see potential in Offset because when Offset released a mixtape a while ago, I forget the name of it. I think Family of Four or something. And that mixtape was pretty good. He probably, to me, Offset had the best solo performance in mixtape out of all of them. Because there was one time when Takeoff put out a solo, Quavo put out a solo, and Offset put a solo. And out of all three of those, I would say that Offset solo was the best one. And then Offset also did something with 21 Savage. That went crazy. So, yeah, I think Offset has the most potential to make it as a solo artist. His new song, Bodies, is kind of doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? You can't really be mad at it with that JID feature, too. That thing really goes in. So, Offset has a lot of potential, I think. We'll see how this project comes along that he's trying to put out. So, but, I think Quavo has a lot of work to do before, in my opinion. But let me know who your favorite Migo is in the comment section. As far as Takeoff solo, I think Takeoff solo was probably my least favorite out of all three of them. Well, it was between, I think Takeoff and Quavo was pretty equal. Their projects were pretty equal. Neither of them I really care for too much as far as solo artists. But as a group, once you put them together, it all made sense. That was the thing with the Migos. Like, they were stronger as a group. It's like their solo projects was kind of mid, Offset being the exception. But when you put all three of them together, they were exceptional. You know what I'm saying? When you put all three pieces of that puzzle together, of the Migos with Quavo, Takeoff, and Offset, man, they was unstoppable. I'm wondering if possibly they could maybe replace one of the Takeoff. I know a lot of groups don't like to do that, but I saw what's his name, Gunna. Yeah, I was thinking to myself one day when I saw Offset and Gunna rapping, I was thinking like, it'd be kind of cool as if they did another Migos project and possibly replace Gunna for Takeoff. cause I was listening to Offset and Gunna flow. I was like, yeah, Gunna kind of got that flow that would fit very nicely with Amigos sound. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking that would be kind of cool if Quavo and Offset can make peace, because I know they was kind of going at each other for a second. If they kind of got cool with each other, and if they decided, because I know some groups don't want to replace the member, they say that's disrespectful, but some groups do. You know what I'm saying? Some groups go ahead and continue the name of that group with a new member. So if they're open to that, I would say that Gunna would be a pretty good option if they were looking to possibly, if they were okay with that. I would say Gunna would be an excellent replacement for Takeoff, and they could continue on. But let me know what you think about that and everything we talked about in this video. This has been Rap Hits. Make sure you like the video. Let's get over 100 likes on this video. Also, make sure you subscribe and follow me on social media. I got all the links in the comment section and description box. I'm out.